So good morning, everybody. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about the British Red Cross and some home remedies and a bit about first aid as well. So we'll just wait for a few more people to come on and then we'll get going. Good morning. Hope everyone's well. We're just waiting for a few more people to come in and join us this morning. I can't actually see how many people are watching. So do drop a few comments in there if everybody is watching and available for a little chat. Hopefully you can all see me. As I say, we are just waiting for a couple more people to come along just before we get started, and then we can go in and have a chat. Good morning, Kat. How are you doing? We're just waiting for a couple of people to come in, and then we'll get cracking on having a little chat about the Red Cross. Hi, good morning, Elaine. How are you guys today? I was just saying we're just waiting for a few more people and then we'll get started having our little chat about the Red Cross. Oh, that's brilliant. There we go. Morning, Lucy. That's great. We're going to have some links posted up for us, so that'll be brilliant. A few more people joining the party now, so that's good. So we'll have a little chat in a minute about everything. Today, you can probably see on the bottom of the screen there, we are going to be talking about the British Red Cross, some first aid at home, basic first aid, and some home therapies as well. So I'm hoping I've got a few people in here this morning that's good with that, and they can drop in a few little ideas today as well. So, oh, lovely. Thank you very much. You know, I've had to make a little bit of an effort today, you know, as I'm on the camera. But that's great. Thank you. So, we will get started in a minute. Just wait for a couple more people and then we can get cracking. I hope everyone can see everything clear enough. I was trying to get this banner in a good place where everyone can still see the Talking Cafe part as well. I was also just saying to everybody that just along the bottom of the screen here that we've got just today what we're talking about. It's the British Red Cross, and we're going to talk about some home therapies, a little bit of first aid, and a little bit about the British Red Cross. What's going on there, what they're up to, and a few bits and pieces that you can do at home. Oh, lovely, Lucy, you can see all around the banner. Brilliant, good. Yeah, that's fab. Got a few people coming in now, so we might be able to have a little chat and get started. I just didn't want to start too soon. Just wanted to wait for a couple more people, but I can start telling you a little bit. So I did used to work at the Red Cross, yes. I've worked there for a good few years, actually. Well, maybe I'll just get started and on the Red Cross and just say the bit about it, just where it started from, really briefly, because obviously there is, there's quite a big story around it, but I want to just make it nice and brief and easy, instead of sitting here for an hour telling everyone a story about the Red Cross. So I've got my notes here, so I will just go over them as well whilst we talk about the Red Cross and a few bits and pieces. So I will refer to them, because obviously it is nice to have your notes in front of you and to be able to just make sure I've covered everything, really. Okie dokie. So the British Red Cross, what is it? Where did it come from? And what's it all about? And what's it doing for us? So the British Red Cross, it was basically started just after the Solferino War or battle in 1859. This battle was it was in Sweden, and it was obviously a war like things do. You know, people have arguments and have wars. Don't really want to go on about that too much today, but basically the Red Cross was started by one of the humanitarians, and he was called Henri Dunant. So he was Swedish, and basically he decided that he didn't like this war. He didn't like the battle. He didn't like what was going on. He saw all the people injured, all the injured soldiers, and it really upset him. So basically he started giving first aid to everybody, helping people. He didn't care what side they were on. He was just more interested in these people getting injured. He didn't want to be in the battle. So Henri Dunant, he started this. He was helping people. He was applying first aid, as I've said. And basically, from that, he started to get recognised as a humanitarian. He was a businessman. And between him and a group of people, they all got together. And actually, he was one of the ones that prompted the Geneva Conventions. Don't know if you sort of well up with that, but yeah, the Geneva Conventions, it comes from Henri Dunant and his team that got together. So all about preventing war and so on. So anyway, so that's where the Red Cross started. Brilliant. And then from there, it's just grown and grown and grown. It is basically a charity. This charity is just a bit like CCS, grown, you know. It started from small beginnings and just growing and growing. So it's really amazing. And so when people think of the British Red Cross, the first thing that I think comes to people's mind is, that's brilliant. Thank you for that, with the link there about the history. When people think about the Red Cross, what tends to spring to mind is first aid. Everybody thinks of first aid when they think of the Red Cross, and actually it's so much more than that. The Red Cross, you've got the British Red Cross and you've got the International Red Cross. So in all the countries, everybody's got a Red Cross of some form. So I will talk more locally about the British Red Cross and what goes on in the UK, basically. So because we know that the Red Cross internationally, it helps in disasters, it goes all over the world and helps people in different areas under several different things. You've got the diamond, you've got the crescent, you've got the Red Cross, which is encased in it also. It allows people to go and go to other countries and be impartial. So that's what they do. But the British Red Cross, we know as well that what springs to mind, people will say, okay, yeah, the Red Cross, they've gone up and down the country, they've gone to all the different disasters that have been happening, the Grenfell Towers, the flooding, all sorts of weather difficulties, anything that's going on. I am sure they will be out at the moment helping with the virus. exactly like what we're doing, the CCS and many other people helping deliver food and so forth. But that's not only what they do either. Very much like us, they are a charity, as I said, and basically they are. I'll show you my little picture here. It's a little bit of a umbrella, so excuse me my scribble, but it's a little bit of an umbrella charity as well. Basically under this umbrella you've got lots of things that they do. So as we've mentioned, they have got their first aid. They do go out and teach first aid. They do go to various clubs and groups of different people, of vulnerable people, and they will go around and tell people about everyday first aid, and educate people in first aid, and make it as simple as possible so that people aren't afraid to use first aid, apply first aid, and be part of first aid. They've also got their independent living team, which is where I started 8 years ago, basically, or 9 years ago now. So when I first started at the British Red Cross, it was December 2011. So, and I was there, and I only left last December, where I decided it would be really nice to apply, and was fortunate enough to be taken on by CCS, Community Council for Somerset. Please excuse the dogs if they're barking, you know, the post comes and all that sort of stuff, and then the dogs start kicking off. Good little guard dogs. So basically, what happened from that is you basically got I started there in transport, and it was on the oncology service. So when I started back in December 2011, it was more part of the logistics of the transport service. They still do the transport service, and what that is, it's a service that that's commissioned by the county council, and they basically take the volunteers, believe it or not, these amazing volunteers, they go around and they collect patients from all over Somerset right up to the borders, and it's bespoke to this area. And they take people to their oncology treatments, all these amazing volunteers, and they take them in their own cars. And it's, that nice little bit of continuity for people when they're vulnerable and at that time where they really need somebody to talk to and have some time spent. A lot of the volunteers at the Red Cross that do that service have either had treatment themselves, or they know someone who's been affected by somebody. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Chrissy. Good morning, Carolyn. Lovely to see you all. Just telling everybody about when I started at the Red Cross and how I got in there and what I was doing. So yeah, this transport service is absolutely fantastic, you know. And as I say, can you believe that the volunteers that run the service basically take people to the Beacon Centre in Taunton, they take people to the BRI Centre in Bristol, and all out of the kindness of their hearts, really. So that's wonderful. I worked on that service. I was employed to work on that service, and I arranged for the volunteers to put it all together, triaged it, arranged for the volunteers to take patients, collect them from home and take them to their appointments, and for the driver to wait for them, and then bring them home. So everything was as smooth as possible, especially going to somewhere like Bristol, which is a long way, or even down to the Beacon Centre, where, you know, it can be difficult with parking and so on. So I arranged for the volunteers to take people down there, and that, you know, that's what I did for 2 years actually. From there, what I did was a couple of other services with the Red Cross. This again is all part of the umbrella scheme of the Red Cross. It wasn't just, you know, it was not just basic stuff or first aid. It's called the Independent Living Team, and from the transport, it then went on to, they still do that, but I personally moved over to do set up a service which was also working in partnership with Age UK, called Partners in Care. That lasted for a little while, where it was a bit more of a signposting service, and then after that, the Red Cross got some kind legacy money, and it was to be used locally. So what I did with that, and the director and the team of people around me, we all worked closely together, and we used that money to fund the cars for the Red Cross, to fund the service, to take people home. And it's basically a 72-hour discharge service, which is still on the go now. It's still there now. Must be 2.5, 3 years later, which is great. So, but now it's actually funded from the council. So it was now it's a commissioned service. So it went from the legacy funding, and we worked really hard to be able to try and keep that service running without on the money we had. But we wanted it to be a success, because it's to collect people from the hospital, to give them that personal touch, to take them home, settle them in, the support workers do. So I was line managing that. The support workers took the clients home, settled them in, made sure they had some shopping, made sure they had bits and pieces that they needed, and if it wasn't safe and satisfactory at home, would take them back to the hospital. So people weren't getting left at home in vulnerable positions, and not able to look after themselves, basically, because the whole point to go home and get settled, you don't want to go home on your own, sit there scared and worried, after you've been for a stay in hospital. So that's basically what we did there. So that service is still running, so that's great. And we as CCS also work with the service. They because they do it for 72 hours. Once they finish, they then have put something in place, and so then they will come to us and other places which they feel necessary, and then we as CCS can go in as village agents and help that continuation of the clients, so that they are still able to remain at home, still able to remain independent, and still able to be comfortable at home and have everything they need. And then obviously CCS agents can go in and help with any money difficulties, and continue to make sure that something's set up for shopping, and that something's in place, and for every social aspect, what us village agents do. So that's really nice to work collaboratively with the Red Cross, ourselves, plus many other services as well. So they have charity shops around, you can donate from there to them, you can go and collect things from them, all at very reasonable prices. So people can, especially at the moment, where money's tight for a lot of people losing their jobs. So I am conscious I don't want to waffle on, so I am there is a lot to say about the Red Cross. So we've talked about the Independent Living Team, we've talked about the shops. They also have Mobility Aids, which is actually based down in Bindon Road in Taunton. And you can, not so much right at this moment, just due to the virus, but you can actually go in, you can phone them up, and you can loan mobility aids from them at a, you give a donation, really. They do have a rough set price to loan it weekly, but it's a donation. You don't feel you obliged to do that, but it does just help the Red Cross continue the services for people in need, vulnerable people. Equally at CCS, we've got some mobility aids as well. So between us all, I think we've got it covered. The phone number for mobility aids, you should be able to get them on, is 01823 273 746. If you want the independent living team, you will call 01823 273 707. I don't know why that's still imprinted in my brain. I've not worked there for a little while, but it's there. So yeah, you can call them up and just go through whichever service you want. Do you want the oncology service? Do you want the independent living team? Whatever you need to talk to them about, really. So that's that. So we've got, their charity work, we've got the shops, we've got the mobility aids, we've got their social care. They do events as well, events first aid. They also, from another service as well, from the 72-hour service, and obviously the help that we all work together, you've also got the support at home. Okay, so that's a 6-week discharge service as well, so or support at home service. And so what they will do is they will you can have 6 free visits from the volunteers, and they've also now got support workers as well helping out, and they will go in once a week for 6 weeks, or however your 6 weeks comes. However, they don't just leave you if you are at that point where you've hit 6 weeks. You can still have a little bit extra help. And that's where, again, it's really good with the village agents to come in and help there, because once the Red Cross have done their part, what they play and what they're allowed to do with their 6-week service and their 72-hour discharge service, the village agents can come in and we can continue that work to support vulnerable people to be able to remain at home and, just live a good quality of life. Let me see what people are writing about the Red Cross. So Chrissy saying that she was involved with a Red Cross driver who took a client home, found it unsafe, the Red Cross took him straight back to the hospital, and it was really good peace of mind to know that they didn't leave a vulnerable person with no support and in a unsafe home. Exactly. This is what I was mentioning earlier. They won't just drop people off if they're not allowed to. Carolyn just wants us to mention about the difference between the 72-hour service and the 6-week service. Yeah, for sure. So basically, the 72-hour service is a little bit like what we were saying earlier, the one that I was part of setting up, and they will work within the hospital and work with the Home First team and part of the pathways, and actually they will take from other areas as well. So they tend to take from Opal ward, and they do a lot from A&E. And it's basically, you get a phone call, you arrange for a support worker, paid support worker, to go around to the hospital, collect that patient from the hospital, take them home, and set them up with everything they need to be safe at home. So doing that first safety check, running through everything that the person needs at home, and just to make sure everything's hunky-dory, basically, before they leave them. Now, the next day, they will then call that person to check that they're okay, and then they will do the same again the next day. It might be that person says the next day, do you know what, I'm not doing so well, I might need some shopping, I might need some medications, I forgot, about the cat that I left at my friend's, or, something. They just might be something that they haven't quite got, or they've left something at the hospital. We've had it before, the glasses were left at the hospital and they couldn't really see without them properly, but it was just, that's just one of those things. So that Red Cross support worker will do what they need to do to help that person to remain at home rather than being taken back into hospital unless absolutely necessary. Once the 72-hour service is finished, they will check with that person to see if that person is happy to stay at home, if they're comfortable and they've got everything they need. Instead of just leaving them there, it might be that they roll over to the 6-week support service. Once that's in place, that's, again, checks, phone calls, shopping for the person, collecting prescriptions, setting up help from friends, neighbours and so on, starting to get the village agents involved and anybody else that might need to become involved to help out to keep that person. This is all about people remaining at home and independent for as long as possible, because ultimately that's what most people want. Some people are too scared to speak up and say and ask for help. They trust village agents, they trust the Red Cross, and collaboratively, that's what we all do. So that's the difference there. You've got the 72 hours for 3 days or 72 hours. You've got the 6-week service for 6 weeks, whether that be one phone call a week, one visit a week for 6 weeks, or a couple of times a week. It depends what the patient wants, what the patient needs, and we work something out together. So I mean, like what we're saying there, look, you know, as well as the Red Cross, you can call the village agents, you know, 01823 331 222 there. You can call the village agents if you've got our own numbers separately. You can find those on our website, on the CCS website, which I'm sure will pop up shortly. So there's so many different things there that the Red Cross do, other than just first aid, or other than, you know, going out in disasters and things. I wanted to share with you a couple of things that I was fortunate to get over the time of working there. Just want to sort of say the things that I've been fortunate to be able to help in. So basically, I was able to help out when we had that really bad weather, the snow and all the rest of it. That was a nice opportunity to be able to help there and feel like you're putting back into the community. When we had all that flooding in 2013, 2014, again, I was able to go out with the Red Cross and be able to go out and help with that flooding and all that that bad weather. You know, it's so many, you get so many opportunities to be able to you know, and so much good, nice recognition, and the volunteers will all get these as well. You know, they always look after their volunteers. I will keep this and treasure it. It's just one of a few little sort of badges I've got from the Red Cross. That was just so many years of service, which is nice to keep, and, you know, pass it to the grandkids and whatever in time to come. So that's just nice. My daughter was able to be invited to the Queen's party because she volunteered there and then worked there as well. She had a great time, you know, there with Prince Charles up in the garden party with Buckingham Palace. So, you know, that's nice as well, because obviously it's one of the charities recognised and work with the royal family. So that's also really nice. Okay, so we've gone on about the Red Cross now and the other bits and pieces they do. So what we want to have a little talk about now is some oh, sorry, Carolyn wants to know, is there a criteria for the support? Yeah, so basically, the criteria is it has to be anybody over the age of 18, and it's usually a vulnerable person, and they do tend to be older, but the main criteria is that they are vulnerable, that they need some help, and that they are in a situation or a predicament, they're in hospital. So there's, you know, it's quite a wide criteria really that you will be accepted to have that 72-hour support, and that you really need it. So Julian would like to know a little bit more about the equipment service that you provide. So is that the Red Cross or CCS? The Red Cross is a mobility aid service. They do have things like wheelchairs, walking sticks. They can point you in the right direction of chairs and you know, bath aids and all sorts of mobility aids. Equally, so can CCS, Community Council for Somerset, us village agents. If you contact us, we can point you in the right direction about the equipment that we've got. We've got Zimmer frames, we've got wheelchairs, we've got all sorts of bits and pieces that we're building up as well as a charity. We've got you know, not just mobility aids. I mean, just recently we've got books on the go, we've got food on the go, we've got this is all for our resilience, our winter resilience. So plenty of things. Give us a call, give us a shout if you need something. We're here. You know, we following on from the services that the Red Cross offer, we're here. We can continue that help, and we can do ongoing help, we can do short-term help. So, you know, whatever you fancy, really, whatever you need, whatever that vulnerable person needs, you've only got to ask, and we will help provide that. Yeah, so yeah, find a few more details on there. Yeah, brilliant. I was wondering now if we can do a little bit of something fun. Chrissy, are you available, and would you like to see if we can do a joint little thing on here? A little bit of we're going to do a little bit of home remedy, first aid, fun stuff now. If I can get Chrissy to come in, I'm going to see if I can invite her. So, are you ready to come on? It will come through on should come on through on Facebook. So let me see if I can invite a colleague of mine, Chrissy. So I hope you're ready. If you click on this link to come live with me, we'll try it anyway and see what happens. So hopefully that works. And we'll see if Chrissy does get to come in, or's got the link there. There we go. So I thought we could do just a fun couple of little first aid things with my colleague Chrissy, who's also a village agent. We'll see if that works. You should have an invite. Excuse my steamed up glasses. It's quite warm today. You should have an invite there, Chrissy, that popped up via Facebook. If not, let me know and I'll do that again. And then you just click agree to the camera, and then we'll see what we can do. In the meantime, while Chrissy's seeing if she can come in, I thought we'll just oh, can't see the link. Let me see if we can give that another go. So now I'll just click send there and see if it goes. Okay. Has that popped up for you, Chrissy? Okay. Sorry about this, guys. It's just it's a new thing that we've all been trying at the moment and giving a little go. So we're there you go. It's come up on it. The link's come up on Facebook there, Chrissy, on your chat. So if you pop in there and you are able to just click on that, that would be great. Looks like you're there. Brilliant. So what I'll do is I'm just going to click add, and then you'll come. Yay, there we go. Good morning.
Morning.
Thanks for joining us today. That's really good of you to do that. We thought we might have a little bit of fun, actually. So we're going to do a little bit of first aid scenarios. So just roll with it. Bear with us. So we're talking about home remedies today. Lucy, hopefully you're going to pop in on some, type in some links for us, or, you know, just a few tips and tricks and ideas, because I know you love all of the, you know, the home therapy things as well, which is really nice, because it comes in a variety of an array of things. So first little thing we're going to touch on, does anybody want to tell us anything about, like, who can come up with something that's going to, at the minute, that's really causing a problem for some people? And I'll give you a little tip. They're not putting sun cream on. So, you know, what you get from, you know, going out in our sun. So I thought we might have a quick talk about that first. Let's see if anyone's going to pop anything on or any little bits of help. Lucy, I know you've got a really good one for this sunburn. a nice home remedy for that. So we'll see what you're going to pop on. Chrissy will probably pop on and tell us something as well. Chrissy was a nurse. So she's got lots of knowledge about things. Yes, Lucy, there you go. And Lucy, you've got, oh, Carolyn, let's Doc Cleves on. Oh, brilliant. Yeah. Yeah, that's really good. Has anyone ever tried that? I mean, Sting. Yeah. Oh, don't they hurt? and yeah, what do you think, Chrissy? Do they?
Oh yeah, it works.
Yeah, it works. Yeah. I mean, you know, you go for a nice walk and you get stung straight away, don't you? You can guarantee that. So thanks for that, Carolyn, because actually, yeah, that's top tip there. And I'm pretty sure that you do tend to find leaves, dock leaves around wherever the
nettles.
Yeah. Fiona, lovely. Chamomile lotion. Yeah, that's amazing stuff. Have you used that, Chrissy, on anything?
Yeah, when I was young, I used to get really bad eczema, and I was covered in calamine lotion for most of my childhood. And it's good for like chicken pox and things like that. So,
people do use that. You tend to see them growing together. Yeah, Carolyn, is that? Yeah, that's a good point. Aloe vera, Elaine, saying in sorry, I'm reading two things there. Aloe vera plant in your kitchen is great for burns. Yes, absolutely.
How do you use the plant, Elaine? Do you just use like a leaf? Do you know, Hazel? How do you use it?
Elaine, how do you use it? I've used it and it's amazing. What do you guys do with your aloe vera plants? Chicken pox, Lucy's saying, yeah, exactly. I mean, me personally, when I've used it, I just cut the plant, opened it up, and the gel, like what they use when you buy gel from the shops, oh, it's amazing. It cools the burn straight away, and also heals really quickly as well because it's straight from the plant. So, but I've never been good at keeping aloe vera plants. If anyone's got any tips for me, I'd be really grateful on aloe vera plants.
Elaine's great to leave rub it sap into the burn.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, exactly.
I've got a burn here. Can you see my burn? Oh, let's go that way. Can you see my? Oh. See?
Yeah, yeah.
And I'd recently had a holiday in, and I know you can get it over here, but I hadn't used it over here, and that was a tea tree oil spray. And I got some when I was abroad on holiday, and I sprayed that burn with this tea tree oil spray, and it was like this magic spray. It just healed it so easily, and it didn't itch, it didn't scab or anything. It just healed my burn, and that was tea tree oil.
What was that? Tea tree oil? Oh, what, pure tea tree oil or like tea tree oil?
It was a spray.
Spray. Ah, fab. Yeah, brilliant. Oh, I like the idea of that then. Carolyn, honey and natural sweetener also to relieve a mild cough. Yeah, I mean, you can't beat natural, can you really? Some natural stuff. I mean, that's, yeah, really, really nice to be able to have. And stuff that you've got in your cupboard as well, isn't it? You know, it's not like it's difficult to you know, you don't have to necessarily dash out and get all these burn, you know, you can get these burn sprays and things, but, you know, old-fashioned your burn, get it under that cold tap, get it running cold water for 10 minutes at least. Coconut oil is also great for burns. It's a vitamin E oil. Chrissy, try it on your burn.
Okay.
Well, I mean, basically, I was going to, I was good. So that's it with the burns, you know, there you go. One thing to say as well about burns is if you've got a real bad burn, you know, if you've got sunburn or you've got a burn from the water or whatever, if it blisters, you must be really, really careful with that. Yes, get it under the cold water. Yes, run it for 10 minutes at least, if not more. But blisters do not break blisters, and you need to get seen. You can ring 111. If it's really, really bad, obviously 999, but keep that water running, keep that cold on there. But don't start thinking about breaking blisters and that kind of stuff on purpose, because that is a natural healer itself. It's protecting underneath. If you've got blisters, you've obviously burnt yourself quite badly through a couple of layers of skin, I should imagine, by the looks of things. Righty ho. So what I was going to say is as well, sometimes you get like a bit of a old style tales where people do say to use butter and other sorts of oils, which is really a big no-no because it's a burn. You're not going to want to put like, you know, certain oils on and start cooking your skin when you've already got a burn on there. So, you know, that's really not the ideal thing. Cover up as well, I was going to say, you know, so you don't get it. Stings. Do you reckon, Chrissy, that the tea tree will be good for stings as well?
Yeah. Yeah, very much.
Yeah, I was going to say about that because obviously stings at the moment as well, especially in this weather, you know, got a sting, you know, just take the sting out and clean it. And then obviously put a little bit of, I mean, some say about apple cider vinegar, a little bit of apple cider vinegar, toothpaste, mint leaves. Fiona's saying there as well. Does anybody know anything about the, sorry, how do you pronounce this? Mullein plants? I don't. Does anybody know anything about that? Lavender for sleep, yeah, lovely. Nice lavender for relaxing. I'm intrigued about this plant now. If anyone can get me any information about that and what it does. In the meantime, what I thought would be really nice as well is another little thing. So I'm hoping Chrissy's got a few first aid bits there, which hopefully most people have got in their house. If you haven't, don't worry, you can use all sorts of things. So we're going to say that Chrissy has cut herself and she is bleeding on her arm. So first thing what we're going to be able to do exactly, so I'm sure most people know this, you might not. You're just going to apply pressure as Chrissy's doing there. You know, let's say it's quite a bad bleed, you know, it's not stopping. You're going to want to apply some pressure to that bleed and you need to keep that some good pressure on there for quite some time. There's no time limit, really. It's, you know, if it's a bad bleed, you're going to want to just cover it. You need to hold it up in the air, elevate it. You can either hold it like Chrissy's got, you know, straight on there, whatever cut it is, wherever it is, you can do that. Or you might find something like what we've got here. You know, you can either, if you haven't got a first aid kit, you've got a tea towel, you can find a towel at the bathroom, you can find a top. You know, what have we got here? Some kitchen rolls. Brilliant. So you've got that. Anything to stop that bleeding and keeping that elevated, same as if it was on your leg or your foot or anything, you know, you're going to keep it elevated. So applying that pressure to stop that bleeding coming through, and basically if the bleeding carries on after that, what you're doing there, you're then going to want to apply another layer. If it still carries on, you'll apply another layer and another layer and just keep that pressure on. And if it's until you either get, you know, you get your 999 or you get to the hospital or something, if it's really that bad. If you've got a foreign object in there, you know, you've got some glass, you've got, I don't know, what people get in there, a screwdriver, a knife, a saw, whatever, don't try and take it out. You know, if you've got a bit of glass there, then you can pad around that part there and just keep the pressure there. Let the hospital take things out. Don't start pulling things out if it's, you know, you don't know what harm you cause. They're the professionals. Let's leave it to them. First aid is basically just to, thanks, Chrissy. First aid is basically at what it says. It's first aid. You are just helping somebody at that moment in time. We're not claiming to be medical professionals, not claiming to be surgeons or anything like that. We're just giving someone aid at that first moment in time. So I think what I wanted to say today as well is not to be afraid or to be scared of doing first aid. I think sometimes that puts people off. Another thing I wanted to briefly go over, Chrissy, if we talk about nosebleeds, if you, Chrissy's having a nosebleed there, yeah, you're just going to pinch the bridge of your nose. If you can just turn to the side there, that would be great. So what we're also going to do, yeah, we're going to... Look, perfectly fine. So yeah, just going to pinch there, exactly there on the bridge of your nose. You're not going to pinch your nostrils together if you're having a nosebleed. Some people do have nosebleeds. and these nosebleeds can last for quite some time. So you're going to apply that pressure there. You're going to tip your head slightly forward and not backwards, and you're going to wait there for at least 5 minutes if you're having a bad nosebleed, which you can get in this heat or, you know, things like that, allergies. If it hasn't stopped after 5 minutes, do it again. Still keep it on there, still apply that pressure, and still stay there for at least a good 10 minutes then after that. Hopefully at that point you should start to see it slow down. I know I've done this with my son, and I've been there for 20 minutes with you know, a nosebleed. It will eventually stop, and you can pad your nose and things, and then obviously go to the hospital and get checked if you're going to have a nosebleed that's that bad. But you know, it can be scary just suddenly having a nosebleed. Little ones, you know, can be quick and easy to deal with, but if it's going to bleed quite a lot, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, exactly there, as Chris just showed. We've got a few nice links there as well, simple first aid skills. What's this? So the mullen plant in the garden. I've got one called Boris. It looks like a giant foxglove, and my daughter downloaded an app on the phone. Apparently it's good for sleep and relaxing. Oh, well, that's good to know. I didn't know about that. Right, okay, I need to get myself one of these plants and give it a name as well. So I like that. Right, so what I wanted to also basically do, and when I was talking about first aid, is say things about say if you get a sting or something like that and you're allergic to something, if I leave with you guys with anything today, I'd like it to be, don't be afraid to do some first aid. I know I said the Red Cross isn't all about first aid, but equally, don't be afraid to do some first aid. And people with things like stings and, you know, things that foods, people can have like what's called an anaphylactic shock, and that can be really scary. And you could think to yourself, actually, oh, what do I do? They're having a shock, this shock, and, you know, have they got an EpiPen? You know, they should know what to do. But when someone goes into an anaphylactic shock or anything like that, you know, if people are having you know, if they've gone unconscious and things, let's keep first aid really simple, okay? Let's just make it nice and easy and not scary for people. So, okay, if someone's having this shock, you're just going to ring 999. Check their breathing, check that they're okay, put them in the recovery position. It's really easy, you know. Before it was like, do this, do that, put your leg up, like, just roll the person onto the side, tip the head back so the tongue isn't stuck down the back of their throat, so that they've got a good airway, and you know, they're on the side in the recovery position already. Great, do it, just push them on the side. Then you can, what you can also do as well is, if they have gone into a shock and they have stopped breathing, again, let's keep this simple. Let's not make it really difficult to do some first aid or some CPR. Lie them on the back. You don't even need to necessarily do the breaths if you don't feel like you can or know how to, and germs and things like that. So, you know, start pumping the heart, whether you are down on the floor pumping the heart if the person stopped breathing. Anybody can do it. If you can't get down on the floor and you're not mobile that in that way, use your foot. I know this sounds really dramatic. They'll tell you this at the Red Cross as well at first aid. Let's keep it simple. Put your foot on someone's chest, push up and down. I'm not saying stand upon them or anything like that. I'm just saying do some compressions with your foot. Keep that heart pumping, keep the blood flowing around the body, okay? So at least you're doing something. The thing with first aid is it's better to do something than nothing, if you can. Don't be afraid to jump in and help somebody that needs a little bit of first aid. You don't even have to touch someone. If they're bleeding, get them to do it. You know, get them to hold their arm, get them to apply the pressure, you know, get them to do things. But yeah, so I just want to try to get across really that first aid is really simple. It's really easy. Don't be scared, because the ultimate thing, people are like, someone's choking or someone's not breathing, and it scares people. Don't be afraid. Get in there, get that heart pumping, get someone to phone 999 and get that team there that know what they're doing as soon as possible. And there you go, you've helped someone. We can all do first aid. It's not especially for anybody, paramedics or any special first aid person. We can all do it. Let's see what people are saying. So top remedies from Lucy. Go for it, Chrissy. I'll let you read Lucy's out there because I feel like I'm...
Before that, I just want to back up something you just said. Firstly, about CPR, it's recommended now. You don't need to do that breathing. With the amount of oxygen that you breathe out, it's minute. So by the time it got into somebody's lungs, it's not doing any good. So you don't need to do the respiratory part of that anymore. That sort of like went out a little while ago. So you just keep going. The other thing is a lot of villages and sort of like parishes have now got their defibs. So, for instance, we've got one in the village here at Bishop's Lydeard. I know Cotford have got one, and I'm sure a lot of all the other places have got one. So wherever you live, find out where your defib is. And what you do, it's locked away in a box, as is on the side of the village hall. I know over in Cotford St Luke, it's at the Co-op, and you go to where the defib is, you get somebody to go to where the defib is, and you dial 999 and it'll tell you the code. It's a key code to go in and get a defib. And a lot of the places, particularly in the rural areas, they have got first aiders, like first responders. So once you've done that, if there's a local first responder in the village, that first responder will come and help you. So you don't even, in some cases, have to wait for that, an ambulance to come. So don't worry about the rest. Just keep going. If you can get the defib over, get the defib there. And by calling that 999 number as well, you'll get a local responder.
And I'll just quickly say about that defib machine as well. Yes, really good actually, because yes, again, even any of us can use those as well. The defib machines that are out there, as Chrissy just mentioned, they're really easy to use, believe it or not. They tell you what to do. It's so simple. Obviously, you need to just remove any sort of clothing from this area, because there are sort of wires in people's some sorts of hot clothes and things like that. So and then it will actually say to you where, it will talk you through where to put one patch, where to put the other patch, and then it will also say it will tell you whether there is a heartbeat, because sometimes there might just be like a really faint heartbeat, even if you don't think there is. So it will tell you whether it needs to do a shock or not, and it will say place that here, take the tapes off, that tape on the square patches, place, and then it will say stand back, getting ready, and then it will automatically do it itself. You just press start and it does it all for you. You don't even need to be afraid to use that machine either. So it's not like you've got to go pump and all of this malarkey. It's automatic. So yeah, thanks for mentioning that, because that's really important. And like Chrissy says, they've got them everywhere. Just do find out where yours is. You never know. So so we're going to go. Chrissy was going to have a look at a few of those bits.
Sorry.
We've got Lucy. She's got a few bits there. Let's see.
Yeah. Lavender to calm the mind and soothe. I've got masses of lavender in the garden. If you rub it, then you get the smell. How do you say cacao? Is it cacao?
Keiko. Is it Keiko, Lucy? Or Keiko?
Keiko. Great, thanks. Oh, I didn't know that. Use it as hot chocolate, mix it with honey to make a sweetener, and then milk of your choice. I could do that on my diet. I've mixed with honey, make it a bit sweeter, and milk of your choice. Tea tree is great for soothing aching bodies and muscles.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, I got a small bottle. Garlic and ginger, great for immunity and health. Yeah. A cold sore. My son's got a cold sore at the moment. He actually won't look at me at the moment. Bless him. Lemon, fresh grated ginger. I got some of that. Turmeric.
Chrissy said it correctly. Say it again. So how do you say it, Chrissy? Keiko or Calco? Keiko.
Apart from Keiko, have all in my garden. Oh, Fiona's got all of that in her garden apart from cake.
Oh, lucky. Right, it's down to
Local honey.
then.
Local honey. I've got loads of local honey. There's a chap literally sort of like 100 yards away, and he's got bees, and so I've still got like 2 lovely jars of his honey in my cupboard.
Oh,
It's lovely.
So that works well with Carolyn's tip there with the honey for your throat and things.
Lemon. Yeah, I use it a lot in cooking. I said it correctly. Right.
Okay. Lucy's probably there laughing at me the way I'm pronouncing it. So yeah, so brilliant. Anyway, so yeah, so first aid, I think, you know, I was gonna think about like telling you all sorts of stuff, but you know, we've covered nosebleeds, we've covered bleeds, we've covered basic first aid, and we've even covered the scary one, which is if people aren't breathing or choking. Okay, so you know, it's, I think today really is about what the Red Cross do, what they're doing under their umbrella, how we're also working with them and everybody else, and just really about how easy it is to do some basic things, basic first aid, and not to be scared of it. So I just want to thank everybody, unless there's anything else that anyone else wants to say or talk about. Just want to thank everybody for being in today and for bearing with us while we talk about all these things, because I know it is a little bit lengthy today, but I've enjoyed it. Hopefully you have. Thank you so much, Chrissy, for coming on today, because I know that was really short notice to come in and talk with me, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. So I'm just going to change that banner there so you can all just have a little bit of a look there. So we've got Elaine on tomorrow. So, you know, we've got different talking cafes every day, obviously. So do join in again for that. Lovely to see everybody. Thank you so much for coming today, and I wish you all a lovely day and enjoy that sun. All right, so take care, everybody. Cheerio. If anyone wants to ask any more questions, do give Community Council a call. Please remember the village agents are here to help you, and just, you know where we are. Just drop us a message, all right? So take care, everybody. Cheerio. Bye.